Please have a seat over here. So we'll create a dream team here, and we'll invite the expert and director of advertising technology from Schibsted, Frida Lundh. Very welcome up on stage. Sit down next to Arndt. And last but not least, the head of Nordics for Criteo, sporting the coolest mustache in the room, Frank Ericson. Welcome up on stage. So you heard Arndt's view and presentation, and I'd like to sort of turn the same thing to you. What are some of the most exciting things that you see now, Frida?
Well, I would say maybe a cliché, but all the possibilities lying in front of us when it comes to programmatic.
To programmatic, yeah. And what is? I mean, we saw what programmatic is, but what is programmatic for Schibsted?
It is in line with our guidelines to being easy to buy from, and programmatic is one way of buying from us today, and it's going to be the future way of buying, I think. And
Criteo, just I saw some figures that are completely mind-boggling. Could you put up a slide with just some background figures? What is Criteo for anybody that doesn't know Criteo?
Yeah, we're a company that helps clients deliver measurable results through retargeting and behavior recommendations.
Look at the figures behind you. Could you reflect on some 198 billion in transactions?
Yeah, it's a lot of numbers there. And I think we actually are, the reach is the most coolest one. I think we're just second in the world now, global reach, after a search engine. Big one.
And somebody told me that you are crunching 1,000 Wikipedias in data per day, or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
What can you do with that for advertisers?
So what we do is actually we just help them with all the visitors that comes to the site and leaves without buying or an empty cart. We try to drive them back and create a sales and also do an upsell with product that they didn't look at. So just return on investment. So we are actually having open budgets and helping them driving results. So we just measure on results.
So it's not a marketing budget necessarily, it's a sales budget.
Yes.
Okay, so we know a little bit about the dream team. Now I would like to find out, what are smart marketing directors doing, given all this, and what are stupid ones doing?
The smart definitely are willing to take some risk, because you need to take some risk and not like do what you have done the last 20 years. That is really a risk, because many of the public companies have to deliver quarterly figures. So risk, and then here on my slide, they need to really be more tech savvy and utilize data. Yeah.
And what are stupid marketing directors doing?
Doing the opposite.
Frida?
Well, I think they trust their instincts, because if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And I also think they ask a lot of questions, and they ask for transparency.
And you're thinking about in the relationship to the agency now, or to the media, or both?
To all the suppliers within the programmatic landscape. It's a jungle out there.
Yeah, I think mobile and cross-device, we talked about it yesterday actually, and if you don't do mobile, you're dead.
When you say cross-device, what do you mean by cross-device?
Be able to track from a mobile phone to a tablet and then see that's the same user on the desktop, so we can actually create more sales with the same return on investment.
But that's a trend as well, sort of the control tower view on marketing. You sit in the control tower and you try to follow and understand the customer journey, and you do different things. How can sort of data help you do that, and how can you do that in reality?
Let's see, going back to Switzerland, we are now in the lucky situation that Swisscom is our shareholder, and you always think that only Facebook and Google is able, because they have the login data, so you know when you're logging in on your mobile device on the desktop. But for example, Swisscom, they provide an interactive TV experience. You have a fixed net customer, you are a mobile customer, 65% of the mobile phone subscribers are Swisscom customers. Or if you even boil it down even further, if you just take the IP layer, the IP network is provided by Swisscom. So there definitely is a chance.
All the data everybody else has, they have it too.
Yeah, fully anonymized for sure. Yeah.
So Frode gave a very interesting view of the internet as a logged-in internet that is not anonymous anymore. How do you reflect around that and sort of the customer journey? What can you do that you couldn't do before as a marketeer?
Well, that's our way of following the user on cross-device and also being relevant all the time. So, yeah, logged in is the future for Schibsted.
But it's often very easy because I often understand things on a conceptual level, but then we try to do it in one of our companies. It's very difficult to actually follow the customer journey. It's difficult to take what you hear here and actually do different things. And I want to sort of dig a little bit deeper in that. How can you do things differently on Monday? Anybody can take it.
Yeah.
I think it's automatic. You can't do any. You just put a machine and it's going so fast, so you can't do it by yourself actually.
So it's the automation.
Yes, it's so fast. And so they take the decision, as you saw on the exchanges. You're buying an ad, and then we actually serve an ad. We build the ad just before we launch it in real time.
1/20th of a second or something like that, or millisecond.
0.6.
0.6 seconds.
Milliseconds.
0.6 milliseconds. So an ad
So
is created
we
in
build, and then
0.6.
we build an ad, and then we deliver it.
We just saw that like in 120 milliseconds, the whole process, like everything is done, as I showed on the chart. But it's, if I not only take Swisscom and Switzerland, but the overall worldwide globe, I would say that is really the $1 billion question, to come up with a working cross-device tracking technology that has a significant value of, let's say, 95%. So similar to, like almost as good as cookies or a fingerprint. And I know that already in our group, 3 companies are working on that and trying to come up with a solution. But that is really like lots of data, because you just have to imagine that purely based on your user behavior and on what you're doing on the web, like you are identified, you just finished a search or whatever you did, visiting a website on your mobile device, and you're at home on the desktop, and your technology has to be smart enough to recognize that's Ola, or at least the user behind that browser. So that is a lot of number crunching that has to be done.
Is there a risk with all this data?
But I mean, the risk is the privacy. You have to be privacy concerned as well. So you have to be able to opt out on the smartphone or all cross devices, and that actually is the flip side of the volume, to creating the volume. So we have chosen a path of an exact match, which means it's less volume, but it's exact, and you can opt out. But of course, the volume is the one that everybody's fighting for, to get the big numbers. So now we have like a 30% potential with the exact match.
So you say mobile. What does mobile mean for you in Schibsted?
I would say it's key. We find our users on mobiles today. And we offer mobile programmatically today.
So I can buy with a bid exchange like this, I can buy
of
mobile?
Of course, yes you can. But I think the cross-device solutions aren't there yet. That means demand for mobile is still low, as we see it. So it's a call to all of you. I
have the demand.
But
actually, the mobile is kind of interesting, because if you don't know mobile on e-commerce, I saw a study from the UK. The e-commerce has been growing 15% quarter on quarter since 2011. If you take the mobile, which is tablet and smartphone, out of it, there's no growth. So you're basically dead. Or actually, I think Q3 is going to be negative growth on the desktop. So if you don't do mobile, you're dead.
But that's in the Nordic region. You've been working with Europe as a playing field for a long period of time. Now you're zooming in on the Nordics with the acquisition of Cellbranch, which is also representing Twitter, and you're also moving in with improved digital and other things. Why the Nordics?
You know, Switzerland is not the largest market. There's 8 million inhabitants, so very similar to Sweden, or if you take all Scandinavian markets. So, for example, with our directory business coming out of the Yellow Page business into a real full-fledged, fully digital directory business, we guess we really have an advantage in understanding how to deal with smaller markets. And like when you're looking to find your niche against Google, we really recognize that being still super profitable with our directory business, that is too small of a size for Google to really go after that. And we recognize there's lots of opportunity in the Scandinavian market to compete against the big US guys. So that's what we're going after.
But you also have companies like under your portfolio, Sanox and all kinds of others. You're building some kind of puzzle. I understand that, but I only have a vague understanding of what the box looks like. What are you building? What are sort of the pieces that you want to own in this complex environment?
Not ready yet, but at the end, it's an end-to-end solution for programmatic buying and media advertising technology with one brand above that and delivering for the buy side and the sell side, including an ad serving solution, a full-fledged ecosystem to deal with that. And again, our ambition is that to deliver a super high service developed in Europe in the same time zone for our market partners, and not to rely on the US players who, as you know, and I was with DoubleClick, it's always US market first and then the rest of the world, and you haven't like demand, and maybe 9 months later you may have a piece of what you requested. Yeah.
So what is, if you sort of put some numbers, if I'm just flying blindly as an advertiser, or if I'm using all the benefits of technology and data right now, what is the difference in performance? Let's say if you're an e-commerce player. Is it like 10% or 1,000%?
I would say it's a huge difference. You have to use your own data to start with. That's the performance data. And what we are seeing right now is the use of publisher data, intent data, behavioral data, and that brings the relevance to your programmatic buy.
If I just make a differentiation, because that's absolutely right. So many just put all different definitions into one basket. We're talking about automation and programmatic, that's one. And then the icing on the cake, it's really real-time advertising. So first of all, it's in the automation. And then it's not
that's
so
the
much
stock
about...
exchange.
Yeah, that's the stock exchange, yeah. So, and it's really about making the whole process a lot more efficient, as I described with all the students that you needed to do the work behind the scenes. It's really to enable both sides to earn money with that and be efficient, and then use data, and then you will recognize that we are delivering, and the publisher will get higher CPMs in using not only technology but data as well. But there's two different pieces.
So the publisher makes more money, the advertiser makes money. What's going to happen to the poor restaurant guy that doesn't have all the, you know, the guys in the restaurants trying to make deals over a glass of wine?
The guy in the...
No.
Oh, yeah, sure. We will still need that for all this premium quality content sales. So we're not saying that this is 100% is programmatic at the end of the day. Maybe 60, maybe 70, but if we're talking about native advertising or other pieces, like you always need good, great guys, but we need to transform, and we need to adjust and like what's happening on the technology side.
Does anybody know how many large percent roughly is programmatic now?
In Sweden?
In Sweden, yeah.
It's just a few couples of percentage, I would say.
And how large do you think it will become?
My guess is that it will like double every year.
So there's strong growth in that.
We have markets, developed markets in Western Europe and the US. It's like as high as 20, 25, 30%. And then others, similar, Switzerland, it's a few percent. Yeah, Public markets need a little more time to adjust.
Speaking about strong growth, you're one of the fastest growing companies ever coming out of Europe. There was the biggest Nasdaq IPO last year. What is the success factor behind Criteo?
The success factor is actually that we are focusing on the ROI of the client. So we actually have plus 70% of the clients have uncapped budgets. So there's no limit.
So an uncapped budget, you can...
No limit.
As soon as you make the money, you get more money from it.
Yeah, they renew it. So, and also
and that's a different perspective. You have marketing money, you put it in a marketing channel, and you hope you will get sales. Whereas this is a sales channel, and that's a different in perspective. You just want to sell more, so there's always more budget.
Yeah. And we have a plus 90% retention rate quarter on quarter, which actually, if we meet the targets, which we do a lot of the times, they renew. So that's also because all the new clients coming in, they stay, most of them. And then, so the retention rate of plus 90% is, I think, is 98 in the Nordics, and the plus 70% open budget means that we're growing very fast. And also on the other side, when you talk about programmatic and on the publisher side, there's actually a lot of demand for the clients because they need to deliver ads very fast, and ads get worn out, so you need to change them. So that's also something technology that we provide for our clients. So they get, when you hooked up to our system, you get about 1,000 different ad sizes and colors.
And UAE and B test.
And we just change them all the time.
Automatically as well.
Automatically, yeah. And that's also the other side from the client, that they have to actually suit up for this speed as well.
But how do you look at, for instance, television? What's going to happen with other medias? Is there any losers in this?
Oh, yeah. There was a big time loser. there's been print. They are decreasing in the last 30 years by 50% net.
What was that?
50%. So overall, the overall level of print advertising in the last 25, 30 years. And for example, like us in Switzerland, the last years, top line, the volume for national print advertising was falling 12.8%. 12.8%, and that resulted in spinning off our old newspaper business and fully concentrating on the directory and digital marketing field. So there's a big-time loser. And on the other hand, we see that, as I said, linear TV is turning more into then streaming video, and that's not only on digital devices, that's as well over OTT and other forms of interactive television.
Yeah, because traditional television isn't really traditional television anymore. It's a lot of other things happening in the television industry as well. So smart TV players are playing a lot of different playing fields as well.
Coming from a print business, I'm glad to say that 55% of our revenues today are coming from digital. That feels good. And we're also investing heavily in web TV content, of course, due to the...
And will that also be sold programmatically, the ads on web TV?
We offer basically everything programmatically today, but since we're fully booked when it comes to web TV, I'm sorry, but that's not much.
You don't look very sorry.
So, yeah.
Just to explain that we trust Schibsted. So, as we saw today on the video, Shell Amott, from Schibsted, ex-CEO of Schibsted, he has been long-time board member in PubliGroupe. So there's a nice relationship.
Okay.
Yeah. So we trust the Scandinavians.
What's next for Criteo?
Of course, it's cross-device. We just launched it 2 weeks ago, so we are very excited about that. And a lot of the clients just connected to that one as well. And for the next year, it's going to be email. I think it's
email.
Email is going to be cool. It's going to be the new
email is coming back.
Yeah. Cool. And it's actually for the clients, it's very important because they send a lot of emails to the clients and they get a lot of sales there. So putting that into the automation and real-time bidding and connecting that is something we're going to launch next year, and it's super interesting. So the old email is going to be cool again.
So the old email is going to be cool again, and these are things that you might not all understand if you're not doing online marketing on a day-to-day basis, but try to understand if you want to sell things online, because my guess would be that if you fly blindly as an e-commerce player, maybe you will have 6 times higher sales if you use the technology and data at hand by just knowing things, not paying more. So thank you very much, and thank you for sharing.
Thanks.
So.